welcome to my channel. So, I wanted to say something while I'm here, and it is always remember this: who I am or who I'm not at this moment will not change who God is and who He always will be. Who I am or who I am not at this moment will never change who God is. No matter what phase that you're going through in your life, no matter how you may think that you should be doing better, or maybe you are doing better, but maybe you're not where you should be. No matter what you may be experiencing, just know this: that we are not the final say so. We're not the Alpha and we're not the Omega. We're not the beginning, we're not the end. We're not the first, we're not the last. We're not the one who created the heavens and the earth. So therefore, we must avoid letting our own feelings or even the views of ourselves cause us to think and to tell God, well, Lord, I think that I can get off here, or Lord, save yourself, go on without me, or you're going to abandon the plans and the things that God has said He's going to do for you. These are definitely tough times. I've experienced them myself. I think for me, I experience maybe sometimes some despondency, maybe. I don't know if that's the case. Or at times I feel that I'm just going through the motions, you know? Have you ever seen the movie called Groundhog Day? And it had Bill Murray in it. I watched it a long time ago. It's like from the 80s. And Bill Murray just felt every day he woke up, it was just the same thing every day. It's like he was stuck in, let's say, whatever things happen today, you're just stuck in that day, and it happens over and over again in that exact same order. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a Groundhog Day, everything's not exactly happening the same way, right? So I'm not at the same stoplight with the same car that pulls up to me. I don't meet the same person at the gas station at the same time. But there are times where it's just the same old, same old. You wake up, you got to go do this, that it's time to back out the driveway. You've got to do this. You're going to go down the road. You're going to make a left or a right. You're going to go grab your Starbucks. For those of you who get your Starbucks, it's time to wake the kids. It's to wake the children. It's time to do this and that. Then you got to go take your walk or whatever it may be. Then, you're going to sit and eat your breakfast, or you skip breakfast, you have lunch, you sit in the same spot with the same people, or you normally sit in your car and maybe you take a 15-minute nap, then you go back into work. Whatever it is, this is the norm. Then there's a rush with the traffic, and it's time to pick up the children, and it's time to go deal with whatever it is that you have to deal with. Maybe you have to go pick up your in-laws, or you have to go over to your mother's house to cut the grass or do certain things. You've got to go to the games. Your children are into sports, so you have to go do this. You have to go to this business meeting with your husband, or you have to go and support your wife in this and that. And then you just feel like it's just overwhelming. Oh, it's time to go to church again. And then you have the norm for that. And you can just feel like it's a Groundhog Day. Just going through the motions, what's going on, and despondency can set in, or what is my purpose? Is there ever time for me to do what I want to do? I can't read a book that I want to read. Why don't I have time to read anymore? Why don't I have time to sit in the garden anymore? Why don't I have time to look at the sky anymore? Why don't I have time to maybe just watch the sprinkler system go off? These are the things, many different things that one can miss out on, or you are experiencing things, but you feel like you're just going through the motions. And this can cause a series of feelings and emotions within you where you start to think and look at God. And especially if you're not where you should be in Him, you're going to begin to believe and to feel like what you are feeling and what you are going through and what we are experiencing is the final say so. But what you feel is not the final word. And we have to realize that what you see in the mirror and how we may give a sigh because we're not happy with what we see and you're not happy with where you are in your life. The Lord does not see you that way. And so we would like to make command decisions sometimes and say, well, God, that's it. But says who? Says who? We just have to remember that no matter what is going on, we are merely passing through this life. And not passing through in the sense of, oh, just make it through, even though that can happen. It is a perfectly natural thing for you to feel weary. But that is when I know you may not want to hear it, sounds like rhetoric. We must become dependent on the Lord. Even in our worst moments, even when we may feel despondent. Yes, you feel that way. Yes, I may feel that way. But God's not despondent. He didn't wake up sad this morning. He doesn't even have to wake up. He never sleeps. So what am I talking about? But the bottom line that I'm making is, regardless of what we feel, we have to always acknowledge that He is still God. And He is in control. And all we can utter in those feelings, when you feel those things, I would encourage you to read the Psalm and just see how David just went through so many different emotions. He didn't fake it. He didn't try to pretend that he was okay. It's okay that you don't feel okay. God understands that. But we can't allow ourselves to circle the drain, and eventually go down that path. We have to become dependent and be real and have those real whispers with God as far as where we're really at, and always acknowledge, just like David did at the end of every psalm, regardless of if he's upset and he feels down and he feels that God has abandoned him, and he's asking the Lord, why is it that it seems that my enemies are flourishing and then I'm here not? God, where are you? He says all these things, but at the end of it all, he'll always acknowledge Him as God, because he knows that he does not have the final say. God is still God, regardless of what you may be feeling, what I may be feeling. Because what we feel is that's what it is. It's a feeling of our flesh. It's because we live in a world where there's tangible evidence, but the tangible is not really what is real. I recently said to someone not too long ago, we're not really in 2024. 2024 does not really exist. I'm looking at the time, it's 3:45 p.m. It's not really 3:45 p.m. I'm wearing a blue and white top. I'm sitting in this car. It's the life that we're living. They're mere props, but it's things that truly our spirit man does not need. And when I say that we're not really in 2024, and when I say that it's not really 3:45 p.m., because we often depend on these things to tell us how long it's been that we've been waiting for something and how many years. This is not reality. God lives outside of time and space. We live in a capsule. I always say, like the earth, the world, when you look at it, it's just spinning. It's like a snow globe in the hands of God, and we're just in it, running around, not going anywhere. We think we're going somewhere. We think we're on the plane traveling somewhere. We just went to the other side of the snow globe. If we can learn to tap into the spirit and just ask God to help us to tap into our spirit man, so that our spirit man will defy the things that we feel And the only way that's going to happen is having a sincere declaration each day and asking God, Lord, I can't do it, but you can. I don't feel like it, but God, you are ever ready and you're always there, and creating me a clean heart, creating me a strong mind. Help me to make it. When you understand that the things that we see with our natural eyes is not the reality, then we also have to understand that our emotions and things that we feel is absolutely, it's going to fade. It really holds no relevance. It's not solid or concrete. It's not eternal. And that is why we can't begin to have more faith in ourselves and in our feelings than in God. We have to remember that the Lord is our light and He's our salvation. He's our shepherd. We shall not want. We have to look to Him from whence comes our help. And when you feel despondent in the middle of that, your spirit man must be very aware that, yes, my flesh, the flesh part of me may feel this way based on the tangible feelings of this world. But deep within, I belong to God. I'm a child of God. And the only way that I'm going to make it in this world, and the only word and the only declaration that I must believe is His own. And I have to understand that when I'm a hot mess and I'm walking around like some poured out oatmeal, that God is still God and He's on the throne. And my word, my thoughts is not the final say. Does that make sense to anyone? I hope so. I hope it encouraged you the way it has encouraged me, even as I say it out loud. God bless. Bye.